Okay, you guys, what is up? The King of Lightning is here today to do a Gourmet World discussion. That's right, my very first Toriko discussion, and today we're going to talk about the Gourmet World. Now, if you guys don't know, alright, the Gourmet World is some crazy shit. It really is some crazy shit going on in there. So let me get started by talking about what the Gourmet World is in general. The Gourmet World is the land that makes up a majority of the world in Toriko. Now, Toriko is divided into two parts, the human world and then the Gourmet World. The human world takes up about 30% of their planet, while the Gourmet World takes up about 70% of that planet. And the Gourmet World in of itself is very, I guess the word is inhospitable, where the weather would constantly change. The creatures in there that exist in that world are ridiculously powerful, and basically humans living in the Gourmet World is to say the least a challenge. You need to have at least some set of skills in order to survive in the Gourmet World. If you don't, then you're probably gonna die. Now, getting onto the Gourmet World and what my expectations are for the Gourmet World, I'm expecting a lot. A lot, okay? When Toriko, Coco, Sunny, and Zebra, when they hit the Gourmet World, I'm expecting a lot of shit to be revealed. I'm expecting a lot of shit to actually, take place, especially with two groups. The Bishokukai, which is Midori's group, and the Nitro. The Nitro are very, very important. Why? Because if you remember, and I believe this was stated early on in the series, Acacia. And Acacia, this is something that is going to be towards the end of the series when we actually find God and Earth and Adam and so on and so forth. But Acacia, according to the series, Acacia had attained God, the ingredient God, by studying the Nitro. Apparently the Nitro know how to attain God. And the Nitro themselves are very intelligent creatures. So, in all honesty, the Nitro are going to be a very important part when it comes to the Gourmet World. They have to be. I remember that the book that Komatsu found in the temple in the Gourmet Pyramid, when Toriko was fighting the Salamander Sphinx alongside with Zebra, well, he found the book, and I believe that book was written by the Nitro themselves. I believe so. So the Nitro are going to be a very big part when it comes to the Gourmet World. Huge, huge part. And then, of course, there's Midori. And as we see here, we have the president, Ichiryu, and he is going to, he's going to his final battle against Midori. And the thing about this is that Midori is we know he wants to attain God, but who's not to say that the Bishokukai won't find an ingredient that belongs to Acacia first. I have a feeling that they may find a ingredient before the IGO. I have a feeling. Oh yeah, and by the way, I do know that Midori and his base, alongside with the Zero Biotype of IGO, both of them exist in the Gourmet World. I know that the Gourmet World Zero Biotype is called the Cloud Tree, but I don't know what the Bishokukai base is called. I know it's like a weird dome-shaped honey hive. It's very strange, but it's huge. It's huge. And but yeah, I have a feeling that the first ones to find one of Acacia's ingredients are going to be the Bishokukai. I have a feeling. That's me personally. And of course, there's going to be the battle between Midori and his group, and then the IGO, Ichiryu and his group. And I would love to see their fight has to take place in the Gourmet World, straight up. Because there's no other perfect setting for these two to duke it out other than the Gourmet World. Okay? Now also, I do remember that at some point in the series, Toriko attempts to enter the Gourmet world. This was back around chapter either 100 and 110. I'm not too sure. But he attempts to enter the Gourmet world. And he fails. He fails hardcore. Okay? He goes in there. He goes through, I believe it was this place called the Waterfall Basin of Life, which I believe is one of the routes you can take. Like, there's a lot of routes. But he takes that route, which apparently was the safest, and he gets owned. I mean, he gets owned hardcore. He jumps in there. All of a sudden, there's some big-ass, like, weird brontosaurus-type creature. Shoots an air cannon. It completely blitzes Toriko. And then Toriko falls down some weird crevice. And then the gravity in this crevice is, like, so many more times greater than that of the human world. So it's like, holy shit, you know. So, clearly, if Toriko can't even enter from the safest part of the Gourmet world, then what the hell is Toriko gonna do? I mean, clearly he's much stronger. But it's just that I can see Toriko having a challenge entering the Gourmet world, let alone surviving in the Gourmet world. Depending on how strong or depending on which routes they choose to take when entering the Gourmet world. So oh yeah. And of course there's one more thing I want to talk about too, and this is obviously when it comes to Acacia, when it comes to the ingredients, God, Earth, Adam, they're probably going to be hidden in the deepest parts of the Gourmet world, and the Nitro themselves are holding these ingredients for Acacia. Who knows? Who knows? Because again, if Acacia spent a lot of time studying the Nitro, then who's to say that Acacia and the Nitro didn't make a deal? You know, like they made a deal, and then because he knew that some of these ingredients were going to be powerful and they're going to be influential for the human world, so maybe he decided to let these creatures, the Nitro, hold the ingredients. And you know, I mean, like, it's all speculation, but as of right now, we have to make that assumption, especially when it comes to the hors d'oeuvre, because the hors d'oeuvre apparently has the capability of actually restoring life, and that kind of ingredient in the human world can be catastrophic in more ways than one. So I'm thinking that either Acacia gave them to the Nitro to hold, or Acacia hid them in like the deepest crevices of the Gourmet world. And the very last thing I want to talk about, alright? The very last thing I'm gonna talk about for the Gourmet world, the fucking creatures. Yeah, everyone knows this, man. The fucking creatures. Now, the creatures, a majority of the creatures that exist in the Gourmet world have an unknown capture level. And the reason being is because of two things. Either one, because we don't know of their existence and thus they're completely unknown, or number two, because they're mega fucking powerful, okay? Now, we have seen 4 Gourmet world creatures go into the human world, alright? The 4 beasts. Gaol, the Fan King, Mount Turtle, the Walking Volcano, Invade Death, whatever the fuck that thing is, and then the King, Octopus Kong. Their entrance, their entrances into the human world has caused complete chaos and panic. Each of them is rocking a capture level above 100 at least. And it's like, yo, it's crazy shit. It's only 4 of their creatures. Only 4 of, I can gesture and say, like, their mid-tier or top mid-tier creatures are going into the human world. And the entire population of the human world, of, I believe, 30 billion people plus, are panicking over 4 creatures. Mount Turtle destroyed Ice Hell on his way there. On his way there. Okay? That's crazy shit. Gaol, the Fan King. This motherfucker. He destroyed the 8th biotype on the way there. And killed a freaking regal mammoth in one shot. One of the most powerful creatures that exists in the human world. Okay? That's crazy shit. Okay? So, what I'm expecting here is that obviously Terry at some point, I have a feeling that once she hits the Gourmet world, because I know that Terry has a certain diet, where she can only eat like ingredients that exist in the Gourmet world, or high quality ingredients, like super high quality ingredients. So once she hits the Gourmet world, because apparently, according to the last few chapters, the ingredients and the level of ingredients that exist in the Gourmet world are far greater than that of the ones in the human world. So once Terry goes there, I can see her growing much more rapidly. The same thing well, Kiss maybe. Quinn, yeah, definitely Quinn too. And Zebra, well, his Dharma horse is like kind of like, you know, it's an already what the fuck, so we're cool with that. But what I do expect is that some of the creatures, I'm expecting to see at like every arc in Toriko, I'm expecting to see creatures at least on the average greater than that of Gaol, of the King, Octopus Kong. I'm expecting like mega powerful pieces of shit. Like, I know that the Big Bang Shark is a Gourmet World creature. There was one Bushukyukai who had some weird, he had some really big, like, Hercules beetle that could, like, fly. I remember. It was when Terry had, like, that popcorn thing. Yeah. It was, like, one of those big popcorn kernels. And, like, it cut it in half, like, one swing. And it took Toriko, like, a lot of knives and Kugi Ren to even cut one of the trunks. But this thing did it in, like, one fucking slice. So, yeah. That's also a Gourmet World creature. I have the feeling that Ichirayu's Epic Unicorn, that's also a Gourmet World creature. I have a feeling too, yeah. So, obviously, the level that we're expecting here is going to be very, very, very high, okay? I'm expecting on the average of the Gourmet World, at least capture level 150 plus. That's what I'm expecting. Yeah, that's what I'm expecting. 150 plus on the average. On the average. The highest level I can see, as of right now, 400. Seriously, I can see a capture level 400. I really can. On some crazy, what the fuck, man. Like 4 times the Regal Mammoth, Epic Dragon, breathing out lightning and shit. You know, whatever. Like, whatever they can come up with is going to be able to exist in the World Toriko. That's the great benefit of a series that has such diverse world building. Because you can make any creature in that world, and technically speaking, it is possible. So, yeah. But that being said, King of Lightning, give me your thoughts on the Gourmet world. Once again, I am going to expect a lot of involvement. A lot of involvement from the Nitro. The Nitro are very, very important. I'm also expecting the main fight between Ichirayu and Midora to happen quite soon. Like, give or take a year or two, yeah. You know, and that fight should be really good. I'm also expecting, on the average, a capture level of at least 150. At least. And, yeah, so that being said, King of Lightning, give me your thoughts. Rate, comment, subscribe. The Gourmet world is soon upon us. And I'll see you guys later. Peace. Have a nice day.